and welcome. Thank you for joining us today, and we are so excited to introduce Greenlight, Landis+Gyr's new Thought Leadership Spotlight series. You can check back here every couple of weeks for new content, and we're going to share great things from across the organization with you on a regular cadence, just to stay connected with our incredible Landis+Gyr community. To kick off this series, we're going to answer some questions that you all have been asking us, rightfully so, because we're all experiencing coronavirus and COVID-19 together. So we will have Prasanna Venkatesan, or PV as we all know him, CEO of Landis+Gyr Americas, join us to talk through how coronavirus is impacting employees and the Landis+Gyr business. Hi PV, welcome.
Hey Jen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
It's good to kind of see each other in this way. This is probably not my usual way of how we do our interviews and talk sessions, but this is our new normal. So I'm very excited to be with you, and I really look forward to this Greenlight series, as you call it, and very excited to be part of your journey, our journey, I should say. Yeah, so very excited.
Well, thank you. Thank you for kicking off the series with us, and it is great to connect with you this way virtually, which is our new normal. So I know we have a big topic today, and we're going to talk through how coronavirus is impacting the Landis+Gyr community, including employees, and we're also going to talk through, how that's impacting your business, and then, talk through what that could look like in the future, and if there are any lasting impacts. So there's a lot to unpack there. So how about we start with your employees? So how has COVID-19 impacted the Landis+Gyr community from an employee perspective?
Yeah, let me first say that the last 3 months has been completely different for all of us. I especially miss coming into work and seeing our people and walking around the floors and talking to them. But this has been a change for all of us. I would start by saying the most important thing is the health and safety of our employees. So far, we have 0 cases that I know of, none reported throughout our operations. As you know, we're in 3 different countries, although we call it Americas. We're in 3 different countries, and to our knowledge, no one affected. And when we actually talk about our people, it's not only the employees, but the immediate family, because some of them are also managing through some, parents and other people that need the help and safety during this very important time. We're also following very strict guidelines. There's about 5% of our population that's going into work. We have very important equipment in IT. In our customer operations center, we run the world's largest SaaS environment for our customers, software as a service. So we need people to go in and out. But everyone pretty much following very strict guidelines, and we're all staying very connected. I mean, this has completely changed, and quite honestly, I love the productive way we're operating under.
Yeah, no, that's really, really encouraging. So talk us through what that virtual, team looks like. How has the Landis+Gyr community transitioned to these virtual teams? And then we'll take that a step further, and what does that potentially look like in the future too, as now we're starting to open up and things are starting to open up and return to normal.
Right.
What does that look like?
So Jen, I'll start by saying we've really transitioned very well. We have always used the Microsoft Teams platform to engage, even when we were going into work. That was sort of how we operated, because if we have operations across the world, and even in the US, we have a number of operating sites where we are very close to our customer sites and keeping in contact with our program sites that work with our customer operations. So everyone has been, the first 2 weeks, we really had to put things in motion because we never perceived or expected a full population of 1,000 people on Teams. So the first 2 weeks had to go through a lot of learning curve, but I have to say this: the IT team has really stepped up and done a stellar job. So we're very connected with our field folks, our customers. I've done a number of town hall style meetings already, and things are going really well. I do want to pause and say during this time, you have seen a lot of discussions and talk around all the healthcare workers that have been supporting front and center, but all these call it as you would call it when we discussed before, pop-up tents, small hospitals that have popped up all over in gyms and basketball courts and all those places, all the makeshift stuff. The utilities have stepped up and provided immediate power. So I'm proud of the space that I belong in, which is supporting our utility customers. I'm also equally proud of the work that they do in this trying times. I know utilities go through a lot in terms of weather disruptions, but this kind of disruption one never anticipated. And big shout out to all those folks that are working in front of the line for the utilities, keeping the lights on, and really helping the whole society uh, work in a very safe and productive manner. This has been fantastic for all of us. The other thing is I want to talk about some Landis+Gyr stories. We've been very involved at our 18 locations, being very close to the customer, making sure that wherever possible that we we act side by side with our customers, supporting them, supporting their charities. Our people are front and center. They've made some PPE. Some people have donated time. Some people have donated much needed help for all the food banks. So overall, the spirit of Landis+Gyr, Team Landis+Gyr, has really come through, not only supporting our customers, but supporting the communities that we live in. Sort of the second part to your question was, Prasanna, talk to us about what does good look like looking forward, because after 3 months, things are changing a bit. I mentioned 18 locations. Yesterday, I had a meeting with my team. I have a weekly Monday catch up on the COVID situation. 6 of the 18 locations that we operate, those 6 cities are well under the recommended curves that the CDC talks about. The other 12 are not. So we're very closely monitoring it. I would say, I can't repeat this enough, the health and safety of our employees are the number one thing that we worry about. We've always maintained that posture when we ramp down, and we're doing the same thing. And we will carefully monitor the situation and have a period where we ramp up, maybe first once a week, twice a week. We'll also look at functions that need to go in. We'll follow all the guidelines that the CDC has recommended in terms of distancing, PPE, and all the other recommendations. Part of what we're thinking about with our folks is, how do we use our conferencing rooms, making even more conferencing facilities available for our people, so that we can have reasonable conferencing with 4 to 6 people in a room with the appropriate safety measures in place.
Yeah, so that's incredible. I love that you shared some of the Corona kindness stories, and many of you probably have seen those in our hashtag Corona kindness blogs. We do have just an incredible team of people, and it's been very heartwarming to see everyone giving back to their communities like that. And as far as the virtual teams transition, I mean, I can speak for my team as well. I mean, we seamlessly jumped right into a virtual teams, and we learned to collaborate in new and innovative ways, even gaining productivity and efficiency in certain areas. So.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. The Corona Kindness has been a very nice initiative that we sort of started within the walls of Landis+Gyr, just getting people involved. We have to get involved in the community. We have to support our customers. And, this is a time to show a lot of empathy and kindness. And that Corona Kindness was a wonderful thing that we sort of started, and people really took to heart and did the things that they're supposed to do at this time.
Exactly. I mean, even seeing an intern class that went virtual, and presented all of it.
Exactly. I mean, I was absolutely, I mean, that was the best time. I mean, we put all of our interns virtually. Typically, we'd all be in one room. They'd make their presentations and, show off their project and all the things that they did. But quite honestly, I didn't miss a beat. Watching it virtually, got the same experience. We had a lot of fun doing it virtually too. Just sort of missed the
Exactly.
cake and coffee afterwards, but that's okay. So.
Right, I know. And they put together this incredible video for us, and that we wouldn't have had that video gold if we had been in a different situation. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. No. wonderful things. This is when the best of Landis comes out, right? We're just a company that comes together and helps out in times of need, and this was the perfect time to do it. And I think all of us are, truly. I honestly believe even just this conversation, both of us in our homes, just the natural way of how we've engaged, and it's brought me really closer to our people and our customers. I have a lot of customer calls this way too, and it feels, we were always close to our customers. I feel much closer now.
It's personal, right? I
Yep,
mean, you
yep,
sometimes when you're at work, you can put on this facade
yeah,
and you don't really know what someone's home looks like, or what their dog, mine's under my desk, looks like, and they become your coworkers and an expanded part of your community. So
absolutely, absolutely,
my,
totally,
my
totally understand. Yeah.
yeah, my 5-year-old son likes to join our 9 a.m. stand-up calls. So yeah,
We got
we'll
we
put
got a
him, we'll put him to work. So
we got a future electric utility employee, I would say.
exactly right. So, well, thank you for that. So, if we shift from employees and community, what does the impact of COVID-19 look like on the Landis+Gyr business? So, can you talk us through some of that?
Yep. So when we first, I mean, typical of any business that has been affected by this, when we went remote, there was a bit of change for all of us, for us inside of Landis+Gyr, for our customers that also had to go remote. But the good news is most of our operations are working. As you know, we have a lot of managed service operations. It's fully operational, albeit remote. Few people go in every once in a while to check things, or if they have to do some physical work in terms of getting some products or whatever sent to our customers. But the disruptions in the field has been minimal to almost zero. Uh, as I mentioned before, we have one of the largest software as a service center in Kansas City. That team has been fantastic, and they've been supporting their customers and monitoring the networks, and so that's been going well. Our factory and our research and development test facilities are all open and working and practicing, especially in the factory. Aubrey has done a great job, in terms of instituting all the PPE, the cleaning of the facility before each shift and after each shift, the distancing that is required. So all that is going really well. Regular meetings are happening between the groups. We're not missing a beat in terms of all the cadence that we had with our customers. We have a very busy sales pipeline. So Jay's team is engaged, working. As a matter of fact, we've had many what I call as virtual presentations and doing discussions with customers that normally happened at the customer site is now happening virtually and working out really well. I've been part of at least 2 of them so far. And last but not the least, in terms of the external supply chain that supports the Landis+Gyr business, so far we've been unaffected. I thought there would be disruption in our supply chain, but that has been very, very minimal, if any, on the supply chain side as well. So I think from a business perspective, things are actually flowing well. The communications are happening. Like last week, I was talking to 2 customers. The only thing that I miss is we would have finished that business review and had a dinner or coffee with our customer, and that is not possible right now. But it's great. I'm really looking forward to the day when I can be with my customers and do the face-to-face engagement that all of us were used to before we had to go into this operation. So we're doing really well, Jen. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, I completely agree. I mean, I think we're all hungry for those interactions again. And I think that when the 2021, that's still weird to say, but when the 2021 show season rolls around, I think everyone's just going to be so full of joy and happiness to see
Yeah.
each other and connect. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. As you know, I was looking forward to the exchange this year, and
Yeah.
those are the things that I miss. The last one was Tech Advantage, I think, when we saw all of our customers and our employees as well. Can't wait for those good times. When we sit down and talk to them and show them all the great developments that's happened, and they can share their challenges, and can't wait for the day that we're all back in an auditorium or in a conferencing facility, getting back to what used to be the normal before. So
Right, walking the show floor, just
yeah,
having a cup of coffee. Yes, all looking
abs-
forward to that as well. So,
absolutely, absolutely.
do you think that there will be lasting impacts from COVID-19, on on us as a business or even just community? What kind of lasting impacts do you see?
I think what the next 6 to 12 months are very crucial. I think the most impacted businesses have been the small to mid-sized businesses that have been affected, and that requires time for them to recover. So if you actually look at how businesses operate, and even at Landis+Gyr, we have an ecosystem of suppliers that we support, be it directly for the inventory related items, or even for other things like limousine services and all the other thing that a company like Landis+Gyr, because we have 1,000 people, all this secondary and tertiary business we create for other people. And I think that's the beauty about business. Business creates business, and business creates opportunities, and
Right.
opportunities creates jobs. And I think for that sequence to happen would be in the next 12 months. But if you look beyond that, I think business will recover. And very specifically for us, I see very positive changes happening within the utilities sector of the business. If you've listened to most of the conversation, one of the things that has to be done is effective job creation, and
Yeah.
utilities have been really good at that. And the more what I call as grid modernization work that we do, it
Yeah.
creates opportunities for us as we upgrade technology and as we upgrade services. More jobs are being created, and especially now, utilities are extremely worried about, as we get back into more solar and distributed generation, what happens to the grid edge in terms of the disruptions it sees. So I see a lot of investment, and the advanced energy economy would drive more jobs and job creation in every city. So I'm really working for that. Every utility has clean energy goals. If you look
Yeah.
at most of the utilities, some of that you've been part of, everybody has a very good goal of, by the year 2050 we want to be 100%, or by the year 2040 we want to be 80. There's a lot of goals floating around with our utility executives in terms of their vision of how they see clean energy becoming part of their regular operation. And due to all of that stuff, I said, as I say, if you look past the 12-month horizon, I see some very positive changes that will really drive future growth for the business. So very excited about the future, but we do have about 12 months of this caution. You were saying this earlier, the last 3 months, it started off bad. We're seeing some recovery, things are getting better. And as we get through the COVID crisis and go into a phase of business, not necessarily as usual, but getting back to where we're out there, physically with people, and then creating the necessary jobs that go with it as we continue to find growth and employment opportunities for everyone.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I could see a lot of the virtual connectivity continuing as well. And then, it does highlight the importance of grid modernization and really
Yep.
leveraging that real-time data.
Yep. And
Yeah.
Jen, I think I'm glad you mentioned that, because there is a new normal that has been created. So,
Right.
as we talked about earlier, there'll be a way we get back into work, much like we ramp down, we'll ramp up. But I think we also have learned a lot about remote working, and we're going to be very flexible. We're going to be very flexible. We're going to be very adaptable. We're going to be like the high tech companies. We support critical infrastructure, so we are
Yeah.
going to, we're going to be like the Googles of the world. That's who we are, Landis+Gyr. So we provide critical software, critical services to utilities, and so we're going to have a lot of flexibility as we come out of this. And some jobs we will continue to maintain. There'll be some common sense way where we get back to work. We
Yep.
still have to give some people some flexibility because of some aging parents or some even other family members. So we'll be very mindful of it. I want to put a stake in the ground and say that we're going to be very careful. We don't need to rush and do anything, but we as a company have to start thinking about what happens over the next 12 months.
Exactly. Exactly. It is the new normal. And as a tech company, we are very fortunate to have been able to seamlessly transition like we have. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very good. So so you were the first to kick off Greenlight for us. So can you share, some highlights that we can maybe expect in the weeks ahead?
Yeah, so I'm glad to be your number one person to kick this off. Actually, this is a good. I mean, I really like this series. I love the tag on Greenlight. I think it fits our brand. That's who we are. We started the Go Green. Now we got the Greenlight series. So the first one would be, we talked about grid mod. So we're going to have Tim Weidenbach along with a customer. We've given you the Landis+Gyr view. Tim's going to have a customer engagement where he would discuss with the customer what are their plans for grid mod, how has things changed their way of looking at the grid in terms of investments and the things that they would focus on. So it'll be first Tim talking to a customer and giving a customer point of view. Then we'll bring in Jay Lassiter and Vicky Trees to talk about markets and regulatory construct to support future growth in our industry and what our utility customers are seeking. We also have fantastic talent in our organization, especially the new talent that we have hired over the last, call it 5 years, has been fantastic. So we're going to showcase some of our new talent so that they can actually talk about their experience and all the great work that they're doing for the utilities through Landis+Gyr and the products and services that we provide. But last but not the least is also I have a new boss, Werner Lieberher. He's our new CEO. So at some point, I'm going to bring him on board and perhaps maybe even moderate where maybe I'll tag team with you and we introduce Werner to not only our employees, but also to the larger customer base and get his point of view. He's got a very interesting background from ABB and he can bring in different perspectives, mainly because he's worked around the globe. And it'll be good to get his views on Landis+Gyr and how we are very future proof and really ready for the future.
That's really exciting, and I know so Werner joined us in April, which was a challenging time for anyone to start with an organization. But since he joined, he's really been full of energy, and he has a vision that I know he's eager to share with the Landis+Gyr community. So thank you for sharing those highlights, and we look forward to all of that content. And thank you for joining us today to kick off this series. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Jen, thank you again for this opportunity. This has been a fantastic conversation. And as I say, I look forward to seeing you all in person, and hopefully that day is not too far away. Thanks again.
Exactly. Thank you, PV. So thank you for joining us for our first Greenlight series. We are so excited again to kick off this series with all of you. Check back here on a regular cadence for new content about every other week or so. And in the meantime, you can stay connected with us on our social media channels. We would love to hear from you. We love our community. We'd love to hear your ideas and input on what you'd like to hear from us. So in the meantime, stay safe and healthy. And until then, thank you and bye.